It's like a greatest hits collection of missed layups. I can't even believe this is real. I just stumbled across of it. There's 2 different videos now floating around out there, and it's unbelievable.
Angel Reese recently made a big statement in WNBA history, threatening to boycott the league unless she gets paid more. However, her next performance didn't quite back up her bold words. She struggled with her shots and had what some might call a rough game, missing shot after shot. While asking for superstar pay on her podcast, Reese played in her next big game and ended up making just 5 out of 13 shots, including one that actually hit the bottom of the backboard. The timing was either painfully bad or pretty hilarious, depending on how you look at it. Let's dive into what happened.
Because I'm hearing if y'all don't give us what we want, we sit out. That's a possibility.
I guarantee you, the intelligent folks, and there are plenty in the WNBA, are saying, will you it's just shut up. Sit out.
Girl, y'all benefited from everything. Y'all youngins benefited from NIL. What does that mean? We deserve more.
Have you ever thought about what would happen if a WNBA player threatened to shut down the whole league? Well, Angel Reese just did that. In a recent episode of her podcast, *see unapologetically*, Angel Reese sat down with fellow player Dee Carrington and dropped one of the boldest ultimatums in WNBA history. She didn't just suggest changes to the league's pay system, she straight up threatened to walk away if her demands weren't met.
I love how y'all have selective hearing. I said I'm hearing if they don't give us what we want, we sitting out. And that's the truth. Good.
This is the same person that literally said she didn't know what her WNBA salary was and that it didn't even cover her rent.
Let's break down the numbers. Angel Reese's rookie contract pays her around $73,000 in her first year, as part of a 4-year deal worth about $325,000 in total. That's the typical rookie salary. But according to Angel, this amount doesn't even cover her basic expenses. In a TikTok rant, she was very clear, saying, "The WNBA doesn't pay my bills at all. I don't even think it pays one of my bills, literally."
I just hope y'all know, the WNBA don't pay my bills at all. I don't even think that pays one of my bills. I'm gonna do the math real quick.
He might cover that. Yeah, it definitely covers that.
What is I don't even know my salary.
The financial gap becomes even more obvious when you hear about Reese's $8,000 monthly rent, which adds up to $96,000 a year just for housing. That means her entire WNBA salary wouldn't even cover her apartment for the year. While it's likely she earns more through endorsement deals to support her lifestyle, this kind of tone-deaf attitude isn't exactly winning over fans.
No, my rent is more than that. It's $8,000. I'm living beyond my means.
What makes this situation even more interesting is that instead of backing down after her podcast comments went viral, Reese actually doubled down. She took to social media to back up her boycott threat, making it clear that this wasn't just podcast talk. She's serious and ready to sit out if her financial demands aren't met.
She just threatened a lockout. If y'all don't give us what we want, we sitting out. This is why sometimes you probably should have somebody look over a podcast. She's threatening to go on strike. I actually understand it's the way negotiations work in the CBA, not on a podcast.
Here's where Reese's argument starts to lose some strength. She voiced frustration about future rookies, like Juju Watkins, who will join the league in 2026 or 2027, potentially earning more than her. She pointed out that players coming in this year will still be on rookie contracts, and the ones after them will likely earn more. However, this complaint shows a misunderstanding of how WNBA contracts actually work.
But the women coming in, not this year, but next year. Yeah. The ones coming in this year will still be on the rookie contract again. Mm-hmm. The ones the year after, they're going to get more. They probably going to be making more than us. Oh, they are. I'm hurt. They are. Yeah. I've been in the meetings. They are.
The reality is pretty simple, but it seems to be lost on Reese. She signed a standard rookie scale contract, which locks her in until 2027. That's how collective bargaining agreements work in professional sports. Even if the WNBA negotiates a new CBA that increases rookie salaries, Reese would still be bound by her existing contract. Her boycott threat essentially asks the league to tear up a legally binding agreement just because she's unhappy with it now and might be envious of the new rookies under the new CBA.
Like if I'm an NBA owner, I didn't get rich by wasting a couple million on something that has no chance of making money. These two, sit out. See what happens. Now, I would miss watching the Fever. I would miss watching Caitlin Clark, but I wouldn't miss anything else.
This disconnect becomes even more problematic when you look at the WNBA's financial situation. Despite record viewership and attendance last season, the league still lost around $40 million. The financial foundation just isn't strong enough to support the kind of mid-contract renegotiation that Reese seems to be demanding.
You lost 40, 50 million. You know who would clap for you all sitting out? The NBA. So they don't have to subsidize your dumbasses to the tune of 40 to 50 million a year.
When you make bold demands like this, you'd better have the performance to back them up. That brings up an important question. Does Angel Reese's on-court performance justify the kind of special treatment she's asking for? Should someone shooting 39% from the field and struggling the most with shots within 5 feet from the basket be an exception to the contractual rules that apply to everyone else?
Final as a club has not made a three-pointer. Gray's turnaround, no good. Final third in the league in three-point field goals. Reese looks to stick with it. Naps it. Angel Reese, no.
As if the basketball world wanted to respond directly to Angel Reese, her very next game turned into what can only be called a layup clinic, though definitely not the kind anyone would want to attend. Just days after making her bold salary demands, Angel Reese took to the court against Aaliyah Boston's team. What happened next quickly became internet gold, but for all the wrong reasons.
Angel Reese last night, once again, had one of the worst shooting games in the history of planet Earth. For what's supposed to be a big, I mean, what in the hell is going on here? I understand her team won. I get it. 5 of 13 from the field. 13 rebounds, 5 offensive rebounds, only 10 points.
Let's talk about that 5 for 13 shooting performance. In basketball, making layups is pretty much expected. It's basketball 101. But Angel seemed to forget the basics at the worst possible time. The most shocking moment came when one of her layup attempts somehow hit the bottom of the backboard. Not the rim, not the net, the bottom of the backboard. That's the kind of shot you'd expect from someone who's never touched a basketball, not from someone claiming they deserve a bigger paycheck.
This is the same player that just came out and said, if they don't pay them the bag in the WNBA, we sitting out. Quote, we sitting out. What? I mean, after seeing her miss routine layups over and over and over again, I'm like, how the hell can this person possibly be demanding more money from anyone?
The sequence was almost painful to watch. Multiple attempts right under the basket, at point-blank range, the kind of shots players practice since elementary school, and somehow, they just weren't falling. Not just missing, but missing in spectacular fashion. One shot after another clanged off the rim or missed entirely, while defenders, almost in disbelief, grabbed the rebounds.
Gets to Sykes, lofts it up. Reese on the cleanup. Power dribble to separate.
The internet, as expected, had a field day. Clips of her missed layups went viral, and fans flooded the comments with sarcasm. Phrases like, pay her, please, and give her the max, appeared repeatedly under videos of her bricks. Others didn't hold back, calling her a bricklayer and questioning her offensive skills with comments like, she's so overrated, and Reese is the only one I've seen make a layup look hard.
Guys, how many times have I said, she shouldn't be practicing no jumpers from nowhere. I mean, she ought to be just layup after layup after layup. Because let's be real, a lot of the heat she takes is because of this. And it's because it's not to be believed.
Some sharp-eyed fans even pointed out that Reese managed to grab 2 offensive rebounds on multiple possessions where she missed her layups. This led to some wild speculation. Was she intentionally missing shots to inflate her rebounding stats? It's one of those conspiracy theories that, for a moment, actually makes you stop and think.
Say what you want about Angel Reese. You can't tell me she isn't the star of every show every time she's on the court. I can't even hate on this. She's Larry, Moe, and Curly all at once. The Three Stooges. I mean, wow. Come on. I think the worst part is Lisa Leslie risked her legacy and credibility coaching her with no visible improvement so far anyways. Good God. Laugh out loud. But she gets rebounds. She's threatening leagues over pay.
The timing couldn't have been worse. It's like walking into your boss's office demanding a raise and then immediately failing at the most basic part of your job. That's basically what happened here. The gap between Reese's salary demands and her actual performance became impossible to ignore. What's wild is that some players might struggle with shooting but still bring value in other ways: elite defense, playmaking, leadership. But when you're missing point-blank layups that hit the bottom of the backboard, it's hard to make a case that you're underpaid.
And isn't she shooting like 35% from the field? Can somebody tell me who in the world watches a 35% shooter from the paint that is basically grabbing her own rebounds from her own missed shot?
Basketball performances speak for themselves, but TV ratings speak even louder. Angel Reese keeps talking about her value to women's basketball, but when viewership drops from over 300,000 to under 100,000, maybe it's time to focus on perfecting those layups before demanding that bigger paycheck.
Angel Reese wants credit. The reason why WNBA is up is because of Angel Reese. She's not getting enough credit. She did this too. She taunted Caitlin Clark. She made this whole thing.
The elephant in the room is this: Angel Reese has positioned herself as a cornerstone of women's basketball's rising popularity. She's branded herself as must-see TV and a key player in the WNBA's recent surge in interest. The image she's built through social media and media appearances makes it clear that she believes fans are tuning in specifically to watch her play.
Yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
But what happens when we measure star power not by Instagram followers or podcast downloads, but by actual viewership numbers? The WNBA, where Reese currently plays, tells a story that contradicts her self-assessment. After a promising debut, interest has steadily dropped to record lows, falling under 100,000 viewers. That's not just a small dip, it's a free fall, suggesting that fans aren't exactly rushing to their screens when Angel plays.
But her attention, her notoriety is based off Caitlin Clark. Because she wins the national title, first thing she does, she mocks Caitlin Clark. And then she doesn't even celebrate with her teammates. So she's made it personal with Caitlin Clark. Then she's played off of that.
The reality check gets even harsher when you find out that a game featuring Reese couldn't even outperform a college basketball matchup between UCLA and Nebraska on the Big Ten Network. When your professional league game draws fewer viewers than a college contest, it really raises serious questions about your supposed star power.
Yes, it is unrivaled. It is also unwatched. Look, let's be honest. We can sugarcoat it all you want, but if you don't have Caitlin Clark playing women's basketball, or if you're not the NCAA tournament playing women's basketball, you got nothing. Zero zip, nothing. Actually, if you really want to go into business, you need to pay some money back. You made absolutely nothing. You haven't really enhanced the league. Caitlin Clark has.
We have to be completely honest about this, whether we like it or not. 90% of this revived or renewed interest is really based around one singular player.
I mean, I'm not huge on comparing the WNBA to the NBA. I don't really think that's fair. Obviously, I think where the WNBA is right now is pretty incredible. I think a lot of people, or most people, would not believe it's in the place that it is right now. So I think when people always ask me this question, where I think it'll be in 5 years, is it's hard for me to answer because people didn't even think we'd be right here, right now. And I think really sky's the limit. I think when you see our TV numbers when we're on, national television, we're averaging over 1 million viewers or whatever it is. The All-Star game, I think, was over 4 million viewers. It's just really great numbers. So the more opportunities we're given, I think the more it's going to shine and get better and better. I think also the talent level in college is continuing to get a lot better, and as those players come into the league, it's going to continue to improve. We're adding 2 new teams next year, and then probably another team year after that.
Some more games.
Yeah, more games, which I think will be good. It will lengthen the season a little bit more.
If I was funding this league, I'd say, all right, hold on. You got a golden goose. We all got one in Caitlin Clark. These people that are criticizing Caitlin Clark, these people that are hitting Caitlin Clark, these people that are talking as if they are as important as Caitlin Clark are hurting our opportunity. They're hurting the brand. I will continue to use my voice to speak for what we want and deserve as a league. Thank you. No, that's not what you did. You said me, I. They're going to get more than us. I deserve more, blah, blah, blah. Oh, shut